Hi, everyone. I was just commenting. I'm excited to know that someone's hacking my bank account for all the right reasons, and that's good that we're teaching you how to do that. So, I'm a Canadian who went to school in the United States, so I'm kind of come from that perspective, and I kind of frame my talk here as this idea around perspective and approach, and listening and thinking, sort of that. What do I do at the beginning of this process kind of stuff? And coming out today is very much step one. I mean, you're in the right place. You're surrounded by opportunity. You're surrounded by opportunity to start some really high-level thinking. You're also surrounded by opportunity to get swamped. And so we want to try and find some balance in there. There's a lot of schools here today: geographic location, process and timing, criteria, social opportunities on campus. These all mean something to you. It's really important to recognize that what you're doing is an emotional process, as much as it's going to be some checklist. Does it have this? Where is it? SAT, these kinds of things. But you have to acknowledge and accept the emotionality around the process. I think that's a good and healthy thing, and it's telling you something as you go through that process. And despite all the differences here today, there are some really important similarities. Every school here today matters. They're doing good work, and they're a great fit for someone, and that someone might be you. They all offer that opportunity for you to learn today. They all have alumni that for the rest of their life will say it was the best decision they ever made. And there's probably something about them that you don't know, and it's probably worth engaging in that conversation to see what that might be. So where does a student then start by bringing all of this together? And I think it really starts with some of that higher level thinking and some of those more challenging questions that sometimes are hard for you to do by yourself. And I always like to start when I'm working with kids on the at this time in your life, right? Because we change, but at this time in your life, what truly matters to you? That's a tough question. It's a big question, and it's sometimes hard to do that on your own. That's a sharing kind of question. What am I really good at? What do I seem to be drawn to? What am I being told? And how does that match or not match with how I truly feel? Because as you know, we often get good advice coming from a good place that kind of feels wrong. And so how do I reconcile all of that? And as a point of balance, it's always good to ask others what they think. For one very simple reason. I've come to deeply believe that, we seldom see ourselves the way others see us. And so by way of very specific example, when I'm done speaking today, you will go off and do the rest of your day, and you will have some perspective on me. And I'll have my perspective on me, and those could be wildly different, right? Because that's just how we work. But it's always good to know what that is, because it helps inform you about you. And I think that's an important part in this process. And so talk to counselors, talk to the colleges. There's a lot of people around today like me who can provide that third-party expertise as you navigate this process, whether it's about academics, your geographic location, NCAA, all that sort of good stuff that's meaningful. And of course, organizations like Prep Skills here today, they were built to help in this way and help you through this process. So seek them out. And so how did that, in hindsight, all work for me? So, and I'm going to date myself here. Does anybody here actually remember that the province of Ontario used to have grade 13? Yeah. So I did grade 13. I was like right at the end though, so close to not doing grade 13. And in that year, I had a calculus teacher who will be forever, the one. I think all of us as adults, whether we did grade 13 or not, we can probably reflect on that one high school teacher that kind of did the thing that made the difference. This guy did it for me, and it wasn't about calculus, it was about just believing that I could in a bigger way. I had a coach, did the same sort of thing. And I took the time to think about what I was learning from other people and what I felt about myself, and I came up with this. I really wanted to go to the University of Notre Dame. It fit me spiritually, it fit me programmatically, it fit me socially. That was the thing. But in one really key way, unfortunately, at that time, it did not fit me at all. It didn't really fit me financially. So, because there's a pretty healthy price tag on some of this. So I ended up accepting that as a piece of reality and moving on and embracing another great opportunity, went to another university, did a couple undergraduate degrees. And through all that time, those really big questions became more profoundly defined for me, I guess. That I got a better understanding of what truly matters to me, what I'm good at, what I'm drawn to, what I believe and what I hear, and how those things work together. And in the end, through that learning, I actually did get that opportunity to go to Notre Dame and did a master's degree in not-for-profit business administration. And that was ultimately that moment. I mean, it didn't happen right out of the gate, but it happened. And I think what I'm hopeful of leaving you with today is that while you go around collecting data today, don't forget to think about what really feels like the right thing right now. And it does change. You know, here I am doing this with you today. When I first went to university, my first undergraduate designation on my first day of school, I was an honors Bachelor of Science with a major in forestry. Okay. You probably know as much or probably more about trees and shrubs than I do right now, although that's what I went into. But the path changes. And you meander and you embrace opportunities and you continue to ask yourself those questions about where you fit, and you do end up on that right path. So I wish you all the best through that process today. I am downstairs at a booth sort of. I work with a small number of people at any one number of times, so I don't lose my focus, but I'm always happy to help out and come on by if you have any questions. So, okay.